Good afternoon, everybody. What is going on? I am Jeff GrantMEDIA. In today's video, I want to talk about the GORUCK GR1. So here we have a made in USA 26-liter slick GR1 that is the Huckberry exclusive. And then in this side, we have the made in Vietnam 21-liter GR1 with the Molly. Now, this is the made in Vietnam version. They do not currently make the GR1s in Vietnam. They're all USA made. The Rucker series are Vietnam made bags. This is an older bag. This is my very first GORUCK pack. But it is comparable to what the GR1s, the USA made ones, were right before they made a few of the changes that we can see on the 26-liter GR1. Even though this is the slick front, the two major changes are on both the Molly version of the GR1 and the slick version of the GR1. So one of the very first things I want to talk about is something that I actually see come up quite a bit when someone sells a used GR1 and people are asking, is it a 21-liter bag or is it a 26-liter bag? Because sometimes the seller, they just don't know, but this is a very quick and simple way to tell which version of the bag you are looking at and potentially buying. Now, this is incredibly simple and incredibly quick. 21-liter will have 7 panels in the back, 2, 4, 6, 7. A 26-liter will have 9, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 21-liter, 26-liter. So if you're looking at a bag and the seller does not know if they have a 21-liter version or a 26-liter version and they do not have a picture of the back listed, ask them to count, or better yet, ask them to send you a picture of the back panel, because then you can easily tell if it is a 21-liter or a 26-liter version. Now, GORUCK essentially makes the GR1 in 4 configurations. They have the Cordura Molly front, they have the Cordura Slick front, that is the Huckberry exclusive. They have the Heritage version that is made out of wax canvas, that is also a slick front. They have the Robic nylon version. And they have the Dyneema version. All of these bags come in a 26 and a 21-liter version. In addition to these, they're always doing limited edition collab drops that are just basically different fabrics but the same bag. But one of those features from my collab bag that consumers have been asking for a very long time is finally available on a standard GR1, and that is the quick access pocket. Now, this is a pocket that is incredibly useful, especially for me with the slick front, because my work ID, I stick it in here, where on my old version, my old GR1 that does not have a QA pocket, I would just attach my ID badge to the Molly on the front of the bag so it was quickly and easily available to me. There is no Molly on the slick, but we do have this QA pocket. Now, this was a SCARS upgrade for a limited time until GORUCK decided that they essentially had to deconstruct half the bag to create the pocket, and it was just wildly obtrusive to make, so they kind of just discontinued it. And people kept asking and asking and asking for the QA pocket, but GORUCK, for the longest time, just wouldn't put it on the bag. Now it's on the bag. So this is, again, the slick version, so it's on the slick 21 and 26-liter version, and it is on all of the stock GR1s with the Molly that you can get directly from the GORUCK site. Again, this is the Huckberry exclusive one, so it is on the black version, it is on the Coyote version, and I think there might be a Ranger Green version of the slick front that's also going to be coming out to Huckberry relatively soon. So all of them have this QA pocket or quick access pocket that people have been asking for years, and now this is an incredibly nice feature. Now, the one thing you do lose is you don't get the hydration port, the Velcro there. That is the one thing that we did have with the older GR1s. Now, this is strong Velcro, but there is a Velcro section for your hydration port to come out. So you lose the hydration port on with the QA pocket, but most people aren't using the GR1s now for rucking because they make the ruckers that are exclusively made for rucking. They're made a little bit more durable. One thing that GORUCK says that they had to eliminate because it was always breaking, they eliminated the slant front on the Rucker 4.0, so there's no pocket here. A lot of people complain about this pocket because it's very thin. It doesn't have any three-dimensional space. But I find it incredibly useful. I use it all the time. So they completely removed this slant front pocket from the Rucker 4.0, and then the internal pockets are Velcro instead of zippers, because they said the zippers always break. I have a 3.0 Rucker. I've beaten the absolute hell out of it. I never came close to breaking a zipper. So I think that was just the way to make the bags a little bit more inexpensively, but I digress. So if you're going to do a rucking exclusive backpack, I do recommend the Ruckers. They are great bags. Try to pick up a 3.0. It's a superior bag to the 4.0, but with the new version of the GR1, you do have the QA pocket, but you do lose that hydration port at the top. One other thing I want to say between the Slick and the Molly version, in addition to there not being any Molly on the front, you also lose the morale patch. You don't have the Velcro. See, flat front, no Velcro. And then we also lose the Molly on the straps. But I can say, not having the Molly on the straps actually makes these a lot more comfortable. One of the issues I've always had with the GR1 is that these straps, now this bag is old, I've had this for several years, I've used this a lot, but these straps, they're still quite stiff. And I found now that I have the Slick version without, is that because there is no Molly, no strips of webbing on the strap, even though it's the same thickness and padding, it's a lot more pliable. It feels so much more comfortable. Even though these are old and broken in, they still feel incredibly stiff because the way that this is bar tacked to the shoulder pad, it makes it bulky and it makes it stiff. So these are years and years old, lots and lots of use, and already I've been using this bag for 3 weeks and I find these shoulder straps to be incredibly comfortable. Even though they're the same padding, same strap design, everything, just not having that Molly, I find that these straps, they just flex a little bit better. They just kind of fit over the clavicle better. They're not rubbing on the side of my neck. I just find that the non-Molly version of the straps is incredibly comfortable. Now, another addition with the newer versions is the backing on both the back panel and the other side of the straps. We have this 210D material. Now, this came with the Rucker 3.0s, and then they use it with the 4.0, and now it is in the GR1 series. So we have this smooth 210D that I don't ruck shirtless. No one wants to see that. I don't want to show anyone that, but my shirt rides up quite a bit when I'm rucking and moving around. And I have had this 210D rubbing on bare skin, and it feels great. It feels fine. I've never had any hot spots, any rubbing, no blisters. I haven't had any had to use any body glide or any gels or anything like that. It is also on the back straps, where you can see the old version, it was just 1000D Cordura. So we have straight 1000D from the front and back of the bag, underside of the straps. Now, some people say that the 1000D would shred their clothing. Now, right now, I intentionally left the shirt on. I am wearing a merino wool t-shirt. Now, I heard a lot of people say that the 1000D back panels would really ruin merino wool because it's a little bit softer material. It would just pill it and basically ruin it. Now, this is like a $90 t-shirt. So you're wearing like a $90 t-shirt, or if you're wearing a more expensive merino hoodie or something like that, you don't want to be ruining it with your 1000D. Now, I haven't had any issues with 1000D pilling or ruining any of my clothes. I have not worn it with a merino wool t-shirt, but I have not had it ruin any clothings, any jackets, anything like that. I've been completely fine with it. But I can say, putting the 210D back panel on, especially wearing like a denim jacket, heavier weight denim, it's so much easier, it just slides on. Sometimes I find with my watch and the cuff of my jacket on my left sleeve, I get caught up, especially with the 1000D because it's a little more coarse. When I'm trying to put this on, the strap will kind of get caught there and just kind of get stuck, and I have to like wiggle, and it looks awkward. But with this 210D, because it's a little bit more slippery, it will just slide right up on my back, and it gets on a lot easier. Now, I have had a few comments I noticed on Facebook, people saying they don't like the 210D back because it feels slippery. It feels like the bag is going to fall off their back. I personally have not had that experience. I've been using the 210D for a couple of years with my Rucker 3.0. I've rucked with it, I've EDC'd it. I haven't had any issues. I find it to be incredibly comfortable. And even though the GR1 does not have the bump out, I kind of wish it did. The Rucker has a little bump out, so that rubs on my back a little bit more, but I haven't had it feel like it's been uncomfortable in any way. I didn't feel like it was sliding off my back in any way. I find it to be easier to put on than the 1000D backing, but I haven't had it feel like it's gonna fall off my back because it's this 210D. Yes, it is a little bit more slippery, but I haven't had any issues. Because we don't have the Molly on the straps, we cannot put a sternum strap on this. You can send this bag to Scars and they can put webbing on it so you can use the sternum strap, but if you're getting the Molly version of the GR1, you will have the shoulder straps, will have the Molly webbing. It will look just like this bag, if you get the GORUCK version directly from GORUCK, it'll have the MOLLE in the front, and it'll have the straps on the, or the MOLLE on the straps, but it will have the 210D like the slick version does. So we're gonna have the 210D back under the straps, and the QA pocket. Those are going to be your two major upgrades that have recently come to the GORUCK GR1. Now, another thing that I like to do, didn't do it to this bag, still testing this for review, I did it to this one quite a while ago. I kind of personalized it. All of the pull tabs, these are all just 550 cord, and it's just dual walled heat shrink for if you're doing any electrical work. So you can basically get any 550 cord color you want. If you want to get some dual wall, the dual wall takes a little bit more heat. I use the heat gun, don't necessarily need it. You could probably use the hair dryer. A lighter will work, but you can potentially burn it, especially if you're using the colored version of the heat tubes. You might blacken it. But I just use a heat gun, just whack it real quick. But you can change these to any color you want. I did the outside, and I think I did the one inside, but I left the GORUCK always puts a coyote one on their top pocket, so I left the coyote. I also did this on my rucker. I think actually I had the black, and my rucker was originally black and red, and I dyed it black, but it did have red paracord, but they took a little bit of color, not a lot, so they just looked dirty, so I swapped them for brand new red ones. So I still have red ones on my Rucker 3.0, but I did the same thing, dual wall heat shrink, just my own 550 cord, and you can make it your own. Now I probably will keep the slick with the black paracord because I like the murdered out look with it. Really enjoying this bag. Now, some people say dog hair sticks to these 1000Ds like crazy. I got a dog, I got a cat. The cat's mostly black but has a little bit of white on it. The dog is tricolor, but he's mostly white. You can see there's like a tiny bit of dog hair. You can kind of see it right there in the middle. But this is the bag I've been EDCing. I've been using it. I set it on the couch. There's a few pieces on the bottom of the bag, but I'm not having that issue. I have a pit mix, you know, short bristly hair, terrier dog hair, and it's not really sticking to it at all. So I'm not finding this to be a pet hair magnet at all. It's been really, really good to me. And again, I come home, I set it on the ground, I set it on the couch, I set it on a chair. It's not collecting the dog hair. So basically, two awesome changes have been introduced to the GR1 semi-recently. They have the 210D backing. They have the QA pocket, but if you do have an older GR1 with the 1000D backing and the 1000D underside and no QA pocket, it's still a great bag. This thing is years and years old. It's been through a lot. I've EDC'd this. I have done like some basic, like traveling to like the city and stuff. I'm not going too far, like Philly. We'll stay overnight in Philly every once in a while. We're like 2 hours from Philly. So I've kind of like taken it as like my city bag, threw some clothes in it, pulled them out, and just walked around the city with it. I wouldn't say I traveled with it because I don't really consider traveling to Philly traveling, but I've used this for a lot. I probably took this for a walk or two in the woods in the like 3, 4, I don't even know how many years I've had this now. I've had it for a lot of years. I've had it, but I've basically done everything with it, and it's completely fine. It works really, really well, but this QA pocket is really, really handy. And honestly, I have not had this tear up any clothing. But the 210D is really, really nice. I could say is really nice on the bare skin when your shirt rides up, but putting this on over any stiffer or heavyweight denim or stiffer jackets, maybe some wax canvas as well, the 210D slides on pretty easily, and I don't feel like it's gonna fall off my back at all. So overall, I am incredibly satisfied with the updates that GORUCK has finally done. It took us a lot of time to keep saying the same thing over and over again, QA pocket, QA pocket, QA pocket, GORUCK, we want a QA pocket on the GR1. They finally listened, finally implemented it, and yeah, I'm glad they did because it is incredibly useful on the bag. So there we go, a quick rundown of the newer upgrades to the GR1, a little bit of a comparison of the 21 versus 26 liter, and we're kind of compare the old version to the new version, which is really, really nice. Also, really enjoying this slick version. It fits in a few more scenarios than the MOLLE version. I do work in an office building. I do carry this bag in other military or tactical style bags to the office, and no one really cares, but I will say if you work in a office building that shies on tactical looking bags, the slick version, it fits in a lot better. It operates just like a GR1. It functions great. I've been using GR1s and GORUCK bags for a lot of years now. I love them, but the slick version does fit in a few more scenarios where the MOLLE might stand out a little bit more. So if you do work in an office building where you cannot have a tactical look, but you really want a GR1, the slick version of the bag really works out well for any of those situations. So Very happy with the slick version, very happy with the changes that they've upgraded from the older version into the newer version of the GR1. So if you're kind of looking at them, weren't really sure what's different of the newer versions, there you go, there you have it. Hope this helped just a little bit. So if you like this video or any of my other videos, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash that big red button and ring that bell right next to it so you get notifications the next time I post a brand new video. Good night.